This is the Losi LMT 2.0, and it's an awesome recreation of a real monster truck, and it may be the nicest looking monster truck in RC form. This thing has been updated over the original with parts to make it stronger, look more scale realistic, and then it has some new technologies to help you wheelie, stoppie, and do bicycles. So today we're gonna check it out, crush some cars, and then see what kind of stunts we can do. Now, if you're familiar with the original LMT, you'll know this thing is 8 scale, it's 4-wheel drive, and it's brushless. But unlike the original, this is 2, 3, and 4S compatible. No batteries are included, but it does come with AA's for the transmitter. Now, as you probably guessed, it is officially licensed. This has the Gravedigger livery. It looks fantastic, and it's decked out with decals and flames painted into the body. It also has a green plastic roll cage. There's a Lexan driver figure inside, and then he's decked out with more decals as well. We even have hard plastic light lenses for our headlights with LEDs inside. And on the 2.0, it comes with wider 2.6-inch wheels, but it's gonna have a wider stance. And then the tires are officially licensed BKT, and they're gonna be a little taller than the original tires. So overall, the truck is gonna sit a little longer. It sits a little wider, it sits a little taller, and it's got a 1.5-inch wider wheelbase. Now here on the box, these are the new specifications for the 2.0. Now to get this body off, it's similar to how they revised the King Sling in that it hinges from the front. But now we have this little thumb screw on the back that you twist, and then there's a body clip on each side underneath of the body. And you remove those and the whole body will swing up, giving you access to underneath. Now, one of the other big updates on this truck is gonna be the dual shock system. These are internal sprung shocks with these little fake plastic reservoirs on the side. There's 2 shocks per corner, just like a real monster truck. And then we have these little rubber stops on the bottom. They overall look really great, and they definitely look more realistic. Now, we don't have an original LMT, but we do have our King Sling, and you can see these coil-over shocks. There's a single shock at each corner, and they look cool, but it doesn't have the same realism as this dual shock setup on the new 2.0. Another new update are gonna be these plastic linkages going to the sway bars on the front and rear. Originally, it was just this metal wire. And we also get an idea of how tall these new tires are. The King Sling tires are pretty dang big, but these BKTs are a little bit taller. Another new update is gonna be this big old fat robust servo saver on here and this blacked out servo. Having all those pieces black helps it kind of just blend in, where originally you had kind of these metal pieces sticking out. It just takes away from the realism slightly. Now the axles are also updated, and on the original truck, you used to have this center piece that you could pop out to get to your differential. Well, now you can't do that anymore. This is a 2-piece axle that's been clammed together, so it's gonna be a little bit stronger. And right here, this now uses a bigger bearing size, and there's a bit more plastic meat on the housing to keep it stronger and more durable, where originally it was just a little bit thinner, it had a smaller bearing, and it didn't last as long. Another new update is on the end of the rear axle. The diameter kind of shrinks down here, but now you can see that doesn't happen. The diameter stays more consistent, there's more meat on the ends, and it's just gonna hold up a little bit better. A lot of the remaining parts are going to look familiar. We have metal links. It's a 4-link suspension throughout. They're really thick links with plastic ends. The center drive shafts are going to be plastic with metal ends. They're really thick and robust. Plastic skid plate. The whole truck is really beefy and burly and designed to take a beating. Now for the chassis, it's a twin plate design. These are machined and they've been powder coated green. And then coming down low, we can see our cover for our motor and our differential. We have this Lexan plate with all of our sponsor decals, our exhaust, and then we've got a green plastic bumper in the rear. Overall, the truck looks absolutely awesome. You can see our battery box is nice and big with a rubberized holder. We have an EC5 connector that's going to our Black Edition 130 amp Spectra Firma ESC. We have a 6-channel receiver inside this receiver box. And then if we turn it around, you can see there is our motor. It's a 2800 kV 4-pole. It's 2 and 4S compatible. Look how much suspension sag the truck has. These shocks are really nice. They're super smooth. They don't have very fast rebound out of them, but they do feel really plush. Now, I mentioned the truck comes with a 6-channel receiver, and that's now part of the new drive technology, which stands for Dynamic Response Intelligent Vehicle Envelope, which gives you 3 different drive modes that you can select on the included DX3 transmitter using this little toggle rocker button on the handle. So basically, in mode 1, they call it freestyle mode, and that will help you wheelie, stoppie, and do bicycles, all assisted by a gyro that's in that receiver. Mode 2 is wheelie mode, and it's meant to support all-out wheelies, stoppies, and wheelies. And then mode 3 is unlimited mode, where there is no drive assist at all, and you're in full control. It's kind of similar to how the Pro Moto dirt bike has different drive modes, and now for the first time we see it incorporated into a vehicle, and in theory it sounds really rad. But how well will it work? We're gonna do a 3S speed run first. "4S speed run. "45. That's pretty quick. So in doing stoppies, you have to hold the brake. If you let off the brake, then it just goes over. So we have this target angle knob, and the more you turn that up, the steeper angles you'll have for your wheelies, stoppies, and then your bicycles. And then if you turn it down, of course, they're not as steep. So that's kind of cool to experiment with. For our bicycles, it's taken me a lot of practice to kind of get a few down and feel comfortable with it. It's all about being real smooth, getting it up on 2 wheels. But having that turned up a little bit also seems to help out. But it's tricky. It just takes a lot of practice. We have a little bit of damage. We've lost one of our body buttons that secures on the cage underneath. And then the LED here is dangling out of the light lens. We did some hard bashing, took some big hits, but that damage is pretty minimal. Didn't realize it at the time, but we also blew out a couple of shocks. But considering how hard we bashed this thing, I can't believe nothing broke. Now, if we were to do all this over again, I think we'd pick up some plastic roof skids. Proline makes some, and it would really help prolong the life of this body because look at all the scratches everywhere. Practicing on the road has a lot of traction. It is ideal for trying to get the stoppies and wheelies and bicycling because you need enough traction to do it, but it comes at a sacrifice to the body because, as you can see, it's just really scratched up. Now to do the stoppies and the wheelies, it's really easy in the wheelie mode, but bicycling is a bit more challenging, and Losi says that the more the sidewall here, the edge of the tire wears in, the easier it'll become. And then use the lean angle knob on the transmitter at about 10 o'clock to start with, and then as this wears in more, you can start turning that dial up to higher around 2 o'clock. And the bicycles will be a lot easier. Overall, the LMT 2.0 is absolutely awesome. It seems super durable. It's extremely powerful on 4S, and it looks absolutely amazing. So guys, go check out the LMT 2.0 with our links down below. And if you want more RC videos, check these out.